Okay, all these cells will not have value. So what are cells? You have this cube. Okay. So you have this cube, and you have a lot of cells here. Okay. So at the intersection of each and every element, you have a cell. So this is a cell. This is a cell. This is a cell. This is a cell. Okay. So the number of cells, as in when you keep on adding elements, keeps on increasing. So suppose you have region, say region 1, region 2. Have you heard of a cross join?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Cross?
You have heard of cross joins?
No.
Okay. So what happens in TM1 is that, say you have records for region 1 for the year 2011, but you do not have record for the region 1 for 2012. Okay. So what will happen internally in TM1 is that it will still create 2 rows. Okay. But the cell that will be holding the value would be only 2011. So 2012 will not be holding any values. So it will be 0 in 2012. Okay. So this is something that is TM1 behaves internally. Okay. Say suppose you have 5,000 products. Okay. And out of those 5,000 products, you have value only for one product for this region. Okay. In your database, there is only one row for this region for a particular product. For the rest of the 499 products, you do not have any value in the database. But still, you'll have 5,000 records for region 1. Okay.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Okay, so I have one region, but for that region I have only one product.
Yes.
So now there are 4,999 product does not exist, but the system will still allocate 5,000 cells for that. Is that
Correct? Correct.
Okay?
So now if you see, let's get in and see. So you have department store. Okay. Let's go to it's important to understand here.
Well, sometimes I hear you and then sometimes I don't hear you. I don't know why.
Let's filter this by level. I'll filter it by the 0th level. Let's say okay. Let's kind of stack the months as well. And now let's say we're just getting the unit price. Let's say okay. Let's kind of look at our file. And see, so for budget version 1 for binoculars we have 84.25 as the unit cost. Okay. For departmental store, we have it, or have we lost it? Okay, so let me kind of update our process. I'll update the cube. I hope I'm able to throw it's rule driven something. It's okay. Okay. So now let's understand. So 84.25 was that value coming from? That values. And this for which particular thing? Binoculars. Binoculars here. Okay. So this for budget version 1. Let's go to budget version 1. Let's check binoculars. So still it's 115. It's for Jan month. It's unit price. Okay, fine. So it's unit sale price. So if you see unit sale price, okay, for binoculars, for budget version 1, for the month of Jan, for departmental store, it is 115, correct?
Okay.
Now if you see in TM1, ideally how many records you should have for departmental store is here. I'll just select departmental store. For budget version 1, okay, for binoculars, let's select binoculars. Okay, so I am just having only one record here. Okay, that's for Jan. Why the hell is all these things coming up? Okay, so there's zeros. I've not even populated it, correct? So why is it coming on? If I select all the products, I select only the N level products. So you see, there are a lot of zero cells. So these cells are zeros. This is zeros. So if it is at all zero, then why is it coming? Okay. But this is a typical OLAP scenario wherein everything is normalized. Everything is denormalized. Okay. So everything is kind of, dumped into one table without any relationships, without any, without it being holding any data or not. Okay. So that's the reason why it is really very fast. So that's what OLAP actually does internally. So regardless of you have value for Jan or not, you'll have values at intersection of each and every cell. So if you have 10 regions, if you have 5 years, 5,000 products, you'll have this many rows, this many cells. And cells are nothing but, as I showed you, cells are nothing but your intersection. So this is a particular cell, this is a cell, this is a cell, this is a cell, this is also a cell, this is also a cell. Okay. So these, all of these are cells. Okay. So regardless of what's in your data, what is in your data, you'll have cells which are going to get multiplied by a number of elements. Okay. And cells will go exponentially as your number increases. So even if your one cell increases, say 6 years, the cells increases. If it decreases by 4, it also decreases exponentially. Okay. Getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now let's have a look at it at a performance point of view.
Now, when you figured out the number of cells, you multiplied the number of elements of the dimension. Is there a way to right-click on the cube and look at the size of the cells, or there is no? You have to use a calculator to find it.
No, I don't think so. There's any way of looking at it. There's no way of looking at it.
The system does not tell us. Okay.
Now you see that TM1, if you see this value at the total months level, is not calculated by us. We've not written any rule for this, correct?
Correct.
This is coming automatically. This 40, this 598, this 32, 32. Everything is coming automatically. We've not done anything. So what TM1 would be doing is that it will be seeing, okay, fine, 40. It will be seeing, okay, fine. So my total months is my consolidation. So it will be going this. It will be going to this, and it will be saying, okay, 40. So it will hold 40, and again 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then again you'll be calculating for November month, and then it finds, okay, fine, I have 40 as a total. I'll put 40 here. That is something that TM1 algorithm would be doing, correct?
Correct.
That is how generally the algorithm works. So this 0, 0, 0, it will go 0, 0, 0, it will go 29, and say, okay, fine, 29, okay, and it will go around and check out, okay, fine, so the value is 29, and then it will also check out at the total product level. Okay, so since we have a total product, it will kind of, find out for 69 this. It will go checking all the cells. Okay, and it will kind of, give you the final output, final result. So this is what TM1 would be doing internally. That's what we think, but that's not correct. Okay, what TM1 is doing internally is that now you've defined this as a consolidation. So what TM1 would do internally is that it will ignore all these zero values. Okay, it will not bother about values having zeros. Okay, so it will directly jump onto 40. If there is something else, it will jump onto this. If there is nothing, it will directly give you the result.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Because that is what it should be ideally doing. Why bother going to 0? Because just imagine if the system goes, and scans this many rows, this many cells, and tries to calculate the value. It is certainly going to be, a pain for the system. The system will be getting slowed. Say if I have some 100 record here, so see, it will kind of increase heavily. In products, sometimes products, if you see any website, say if you have if you see any website, say, which is doing a retail online business, it may not have 5,000 products, it may have 50,000 products, or it may have some 70K products. So what will happen? It will kind of, system's performance will slow down rapidly. Okay, so to avoid that, TM1 will only go to the cells which are containing values. It will not go to zero level cells. Now this is called as fast consolidation algorithm.
I'm sorry?
Fast consolidation algorithm.
Okay.
So that which TM1 does internally. Now, why am I saying all these things is because as you write a single line of rule, a single rule if you write, the fast consolidation algorithm turns off. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. If I write a single rule,
even if you write a single line of code,
right,
single line of rule,
okay,
what happens internally is that the fast consolidation algorithm, which TM1 follows,
it becomes void.
Yeah, it becomes it kinds of turns off.
Okay.
So if you have written a rule, what TM1 will do is it will go to each and every cell.
Okay.
Go to each and every cell to calculate the values.
Okay. But if I write one rule and the hierarchy consolidation, they will still work, right?
Come again?
The default. The unit price, for example, that's a system generated column. It's a consolidation, right? That will still be okay if I even write one rule.
Yeah, it will be working. You'll be getting the result.
Okay. But it will calculate every single cell.
It will go to every single cell.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so by doing that, what do you think? What is going to happen?
It will slow down the performance.
Yes, correct. It will slow down the performance. So, to our rescue, to tackle this situation, what we have is something called a skip check and feeders. Okay. Let's kind of understand. Calculation is this. Let's select only January. Okay. So the calculation that we do has to have a support of a skip check and a feeder. Okay. So let's kind of let's kind of delete all these things. Let's save this particular line. We already have quantity coming in from a particular process. So just kind of run this process. Okay. So we should have a quantity as well. So we do have a quantity. We have a unit cost. Okay. And we are calculating the total cost price. But what is happening here is that because of doing this, our performance is getting degraded. Okay. So I'll just kind of remove this if statement. Okay. Now what do I do here? So the first thing that I need to do here is that the very first line of the code should be called a skip check. Now as soon as you write a skip check, what will happen is that the TM1's consolidation algorithm, fast consolidation algorithm, will be again switched on.
I'm sorry, it will
again switch on.
Okay.
So what happens is if you write a rule, it gets turned off, and as soon as you write a skip check, it will turn on.
Okay.
So what skip check will do is that it will say skip checking all the cells and just do what you are doing, what you were doing. Okay. So let's kind of look the behavior of skip check. There's nothing great in terms of behavior. Let's kind of put this back, let's put this back, and kind of have the total levels. So do you notice anything that is happening, and do you notice anything that should not happen? I mean some values which should have been given but it's not coming correctly.
Hello. Ravi?
Yeah.
Okay.
So have you analyzed anything? Did you analyze anything?
Well, I mean, the dimensions, and there's so many things, but I mean, off the top, it looks like the total cost unit is not there correctly.
So total product level, ideally you should have got the total, right?
Right. The quantity is there, but it's not calculating the cost.
Yes. Just kind of look at the trace calculation. So what it is saying is that ideally it should consolidate, right? So what it is saying is I do not find any value. anywhere. It is saying 0, 0, 0 for everything. It's saying I did not find any value. So let me tell you, as soon as you write skip check, what will TM1 do? It will say, fine, do hell with your rules. I am kind of calculating only the things that I'll be getting. Okay. So what TM1 will do actually is that it will only calculate the values which are physically present. So this we have populated. This we have populated from a process. So we have inserted this row. This is what? This is some virtual calculation, right? So rule is always a virtual calculation. Okay, it is not going to store the data anywhere. It is only going to give you a formula. Okay, and it is not persistent. Right, if you change the unit cost price, the rules will automatically change. Right? So it's not kind of holding any, holding any physical, persistence anywhere. So it's not, this values are not persistent in the system. This is correct because we've loaded. Anything that you load, I've told you this, I've told this before as well, that anything that you load from process will be there present physically. Anything that you do from a rule will not be present. It is just kind of doing a virtual lookup. If you just remember, we had a virtual cube discussion.
Right.
Okay. So anything that is rule driven is not physically present. It is just virtual values, which are just coming from some calculation. Okay. So now, what is happening here is that the total cost price is not getting calculated because this is not physically present. Okay.
But if I look at the first column, there is quantity and there is unit cost. They're physically there, right?
Yes.
So it still would not calculate the total cost price.
Yes. But what we've done is we've written n level rule, yeah, right? So what we are saying is to TM1 is that you do your consolidation stuff by yourself.
Okay.
Correct.
But the quantity and unit cost is physically there, right?
Yes, it's physically there.
So it should calculate the very first line.
This one?
Right.
Why it will calculate?
Because the quantity and unit cost is physically there.
But what should it calculate?
The total cost price.
No, it will not calculate, right? If you remember.
We have the rules for the total cost price, right? Total cost price is equal to
quantity into unit cost. But that is at what level?
Okay, that's at a consolidation level. But then our formula is wrong, right? The total cost price, we should put a C in front of it, right?
All right, let's kind of remove this. What do you want me to do? You want me to put a C?
In front of the total cost price, right?
All right, fine. Let's do that.
No, I mean not here, but in the beginning of the sentence, beginning of the line.
Not here.
Right, before total cost. Because that's, right? Yes.
It's not going to work. It will give you syntax error.
Okay. Okay.
It's always is after the equal to. This is always after the equal to.
Okay, so that is at n level, so.
This is what? This is consolidation level. So
okay.
You're doing calculation at the consolidation level.
Okay.
If you put C here, you're doing it at the consolidation level.
But the unit and the cost is at the n level, right?
Yes, it is at n level.
So, what is the proper?
If you remember, what was happening? Unit cost is getting summed up, right?
Right.
86. So 2.3, 84.25. is getting summed up to 86.55. So
Okay.
even if I do that calculation, that what you're saying, I'm not going to get the proper results. Correct. If I have the 20, if I just multiply 20 into 86.55, it's not going to give me proper results. Because that's not what I want. Now, so if you have a profit percentage, what will you do? If you have a profit,
Okay.
the percentage cannot sum up.
Okay.
At that point of time, you write a C statement. For this, you'll have to write a N statement. Because we're calculating at the N level and we want the consolidation to be done by TM1.
Okay.
Or perhaps even if you don't write anything, so what it'll do is it will do the consolidation at both. It will do the calculation at both level, N level as well as C level. Let's try to understand what is happening exactly. So we're good. We're getting the values. Okay. Now let's kind of just get total cost price. Okay. So we're getting the value. Now let's do a zero separation. See, the values have disappeared. Ideally, it should have, given us 1,
Right.
2, 3, 4, and 5 rows.
Correct.
But by doing zero separation, it is saying no values are available. Because internally the value is not present. There is no value physically present there. Even if you're doing that calculation. See, if you just try to understand, you just try to do a trace calculation here. Okay. Why the hell is this coming again and again like this? Let's do it again. So if you see, if I do a check feeder at the consolidation level, what it is saying me is that it is not fed. This is not fed. This is not fed. Okay. So now you understood that what is going wrong. Did you understand that what is exactly going wrong?
No, not yet.
But still you understood that what TM1 is doing internally, it's not actually doing the calculation, because zero separation and all is not working. Correct.
Correct.
If you see a profit, let's kind of look at the profit. So profit is what? Total selling price minus the total cost price. Let's kind of do that calculation. Profit is equal to total selling price minus total cost price. Kind of, so we're getting the profit as well. Okay. But internally what is happening is that it is not exactly doing the consolidation. If I just put an N level here, and I put an n level here, and I want the TM1 to do its own calculation, it's not able to do so. It is not able to perform that consolidation which I wanted to perform. Is it getting confusing for you?
A little bit, yes.
What have you understood so far?
Okay, so I understood how the number of cells are calculated. You multiply all the items of a dimension, okay, which is fine. Then if we do not write any code, then TM1 by default skips the zeros. But if we write any code, then TM1 will calculate or go through every single cell, even if it's 0.
Perfect.
And then I think up to that it's clear, but after that, also what I understood is that if there are physical data in a cell, then TM1 uses that whether to suppress or not. It does not suppress based on virtual cell data.
Perfect.
So that's what I understood so far.
Perfect. So you understood that TM1, if you write a rule, TM1 will scan all the cells. You understood this?
If I write a rule, yes, that is correct. It will not skip any 0 value.
It will scan all the cells. So
Correct.
This is going to degrade the performance.
Correct.
This is also you are aware about.
Right.
And you are aware about one more thing, that is that TM1 provides you with an option to enhance the performance.
By
Okay,
writing
turn the
check.
consolidation, to turn that consolidation which TM1 is doing internally, to turn that on. Okay, so once you write a rule without any skip check of feeders, if you just simply write a rule, the consolidation algorithm will be turned off. Okay, and as you write a skip check, the consolidation algorithm will be turned on. This is clear so far?
So if I have a consolidation, like for example, camping equipment, it is the sum of cooking gear, lanterns, packs, sleeping bags, and tents, right? That's the system is going to consolidate. If I don't have any rules, it is going to apply the consolidation. If I have one line of rules, it will not consolidate, right? Is that?
No, it's not right.
Okay.
Maybe what you're trying to say is right, but what you've said is wrong.
Okay.
If you have a camping equipment, if you have cooking gear, lanterns, packs, sleeping bags, tents, if you do not have anything, if you do not have any code,
any rules,
no rules,
right? Okay. Then.
So what will happen is that TM1 will go only to the cells which are having values.
Right. Right.
And
but
do the consolidation.
Okay. Okay.
But if you write a rule,
right,
what TM1 will do, it will go to all the cells regardless of it having value or not.
I see. But it will still do the consolidation.
It will still do the consolidation.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. But after I write rules, and before that, if I say skip check, then it will do the consolidation and it will skip the 0 values.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll skip the 0 values.
Okay.
Okay. But right now, what has happened is that we've written a skip check, but it is not giving us the consolidation. Okay. It certainly is. You may not be able to, see how fast it is calculating, but still it is calculating much faster than what it is doing without a skip check. So let's try to understand that once you write a skip check, what else do you need to do so that you have the values in this particular cell?
Okay. Okay.
So let's see. So next and the last, at the very end, once you're done with writing your rule, you have to write something called as feeders.
Okay.
and you have to kind of feed the cells of total cost price. So you can feed it by saying, okay, unit cost feeds, this is called as feeds total cost price. Okay.
Okay.
So what will happen here? Okay. First, let's try to understand what's the output. So we've got the output. Okay. Let's try to see our skip suppress zero stuff. So suppress zero stuff is working as well. Correct.
Okay.
So we've done the thing that we wanted, but let's understand what is exactly it is doing. So what we've done, what rule we've written unit cost feeds total cost price. Unit cost. What is unit cost? What's unit cost? This feeds total cost price. Now unit cost, there is no rule written on the unit cost. Correct.
Correct.
Is there any rule written on unit cost? No. There's no rule written.
Unit cost multiplied by total price is giving us the total cost. So there is one rule right in the beginning. We're using the unit cost.
So we're using this three stuff. Let's have a look at our rule. There's only one single piece of line.
Right. So unit cost is part of the rule, right? The first line, the one you have highlighted.
Unit cost is not rule driven.
Okay.
Total cost is.
Okay. Okay. But unit cost is in that.
It is populating. It is getting populated from this file. Unit cost is getting populated from this file.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
So then.
So unit cost. Yeah. Come again. Yeah.
So the next under feeder we wrote unit cost is feeding total cost price, right? That's what.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So now we're getting the values right. The output is perfectly fine. That is what we wanted. Correct.
Correct.
But the problem here is that we're not understanding what TM1 is doing. Why the hell did we write the rule? And what this rule is doing? What this feeder is doing? What do you mean by unit cost feeding total cost price? So what TM1 internally is doing is that. Now just tell me, just answer my questions. Unit cost, is it rule driven?
No, I think you said it's coming from the file.
Perfect. You're absolutely right. Quantity, is it rule driven?
No.
Perfect. You're absolutely right. Total cost price, yes, it is rule driven. Yeah. Now, when you write a rule for total cost price is equal to unit cost into quantity, okay, with a skip check and without any feeders. So if I have this return
And no skip check.
and no skip check, right now it is coming, but still, if you just kind of do a separation, come on, man. Next thing that I'll have to do is to clear that qubit. Okay. So it's persisting. That's the reason why it is coming. Let's save this view, the default view. I'll say, okay, I'll close this off. Now, whenever you kind of alter the rule, this is one thing that you need to do to make sure that your output that is coming is perfectly fine. So you'll have to unload the queue. So this kind of unloads the queue from the memory.
Okay. And it recalculates everything. Okay.
Yeah, it recalculates everything. So now you've got that. So again, your total cost price is not getting calculated, and values are getting surprised as zeros. Okay, so we're back to what we were doing. This kind of stupid. Yep. So we understood that this is still getting calculated by the fast consolidation algorithm, correct?
Right.
Why? Because there is no rule written on that unit cost and quantity, but there is a rule written on total cost price. So, but the values are not physically present. That is the reason why it is not doing consolidation. So this is pretty much clear. Now, if I write this statement, what this statement is saying is that it kinds of gives a marker. Okay, it kind of creates a marker inside. What it does is that wherever you find a value for unit cost, just stop and check the value for total cost price as well and do the calculation. Okay, so what TM1 will do is that it will quickly scan unit cost price. It will say, okay, fine, I got this value 2.3 here, so I'll have to take the values from here as well. Sorry, here. Okay, so it will kind of take the value from here and again jump directly to 84.25. It will take the value from here. Okay, so it's kind of a marker for TM1 to calculate it. So what it will do is it is saying for calculating total cost price, you just check unit cost. So unit cost is actually feeding total cost price. Okay, so wherever you find a unit cost, you just stop there and check the total cost price and kind of calculate my total cost price as well.
What about personal accessories? Why is it not calculating total cost price? The line before
this is also consolidation, right?
Right.
This is also not get calculated. So we've just saved the rule. That's the reason why it's again kind of calculating. But this is also not getting calculated. Okay. Are you clear on this stuff, or you want me to explain more?
Yeah, it's not clear yet.
It's not clear yet. Okay, fine. Save this. Just close this off. Yes. Yes. Unload the cube from the memory. Okay. Now, personal accessories. This is what consolidation. Outdoor equipment consolidation. Mountaineering equipment consolidation. Golf equipment consolidation.
Okay. Hello? 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 Ravi? Ravi? Ravi, I think I lost you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. You see the screen?
Not yet. Okay, I see now.
Okay. So now, you see personal accessories. This is a
Right.
consolidation.
Right.
Outdoor production consolidation. Everything that is having a plus sign is a consolidation.
Right.
So you see that quantity is getting calculated, unit cost is getting calculated. Again, quantity is getting calculated, unit cost is getting calculated at the consolidation level. Okay, this is also getting calculated at the consolidation level. This is also getting calculated at the consolidation level.
Well,
now the reason being,
no, means calculated, but the total cost is not calculated, right? Total cost price.
It's not getting calculated. Yeah, correct.
But quantity and unit cost is not really calculated. It is the physical data from the file.
Perfect. Okay. But still, it is getting calculated, right?
Right. It's
by
showing
TM1 internally. So the calculation that I'm talking about is the consolidation algorithm of TM1.
Right. But what is being calculated is insect repellent. You can see that why is that calculated? Because it is not consolidation. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So like this one here, 23. Insect repellent is getting calculated, right? So because that is not consolidation, but anything that is consolidation, total cost price is not calculated. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is getting calculated. Why? Because we have no rule written here on unit cost and quantity, and it is physically present. So this is pretty much clear.
Okay. Yes.
Now when I'm writing skip check, it is turning the fast consolidation algorithm on. Okay.
Okay.
This is clear.
Right.
Now the statement when I write feeders, what I'm saying is that unit cost feeds total cost price.
Correct.
Okay. Not saving it. So what will happen internally is that right now for calculating unit cost, what is TM1 doing? TM1 to calculate the unit cost, it is scanning the, it is not scanning the entire, all the rows, right? So what it is doing, it is directly jumping into 2.3, jumping into 84.25 and giving you 86.55.
Okay.
This is clear?
Correct.
So now when I say that unit cost feeds total cost price, I'm saying to TM1 that you calculate the total cost price, you give me the consolidation value of total cost price, okay? And
okay.
But what TM1 would be saying to me is that, oh, how do I give it? Okay, means how do I actually give the value when there is no value present? Okay, so you give me some marker at least, that where do I stop? Okay, so this is not actually no physical value present, but TM1 needs a particular marker where it can stop. So my marker for TM1 to stop at total cost price is unit cost price. So I'm saying unit cost price feeds total cost price. So when you kind of scan your rows, you stop at wherever you find a value in the unit cost price, and you kind of calculate the total cost price as well, using this as a marker. So what TM1 will do is, it will come, it will skip all the values, it will directly jump to 2.3, it will say fine, there's some value in unit cost present, so I'll calculate my total cost price. Again it will go pretty quickly, it will say okay fine, 84.25 is present in unit cost, so I'll kind of calculate my value for total cost price as well. So this is what this particular line is saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
Clearest?
Yes, I got it now.
Got it now? Perfect.
Yes. Thank you.
If I save this is, see before saving, if I just do a trace calculation, the problem is that I've saved it. Let's kind of save it and do it again. That's the problem. Just if you just save it, it kind of does the recalculation. Just kind of unload the cube. Okay, so we have our values. So if I do a check feeders, so what it's saying is not fed and not fed. So there is value at insect repellents. Okay, but what is saying it is not fed. This value at binoculars, but what it is saying it is not fed. Okay. So if it is not fed, TM1 will not be able to find it. So I am feeding it. Say fine, let's feed it. Now let's kind of do a recalculate. I'm getting the values back, and let's try to do a check feeders now. So there is nothing in the trace as yet. That means everything is getting feeded.
Okay. So whenever I use trace feeder, would tell me, system would tell me if I'm missing something.
Yes. Check feeders will tell you where all the things mean.
Right.
Where is that one value that is getting missed?
Okay.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So this is very important to understand actually, because I may just simply tell you like, okay, fine, this is what you have to write to make feeders work, but till the time you don't understand why are we writing it, it will not make any it doesn't make any sense to keep on writing the chunk of piece of code. Okay. All right. So let's kind of move on, and you want me to continue?
It's up to you.
Okay. So maybe I'll just take up 10-15 minutes more of yours.
Okay.
Okay. So now one question that I'm expecting from you, or perhaps you just tell me that how is TM1 when I'm writing this particular statement, what is TM1 doing? You just tell me in very simple terms.
You mean the check feeder line or everything?
Yeah, just tell me everything, what is happening entirely with this rule. Just kind of copy this for you on the side.
Okay, so first of all, everything that has a plus sign, they are consolidation. Okay, so now if they're consolidation, but many of the items do not have any value, there is 0. So if I did not have skip check and I didn't have any rules, it will do the consolidation, but it will skip the zeros. Okay, now I have a rules, total cost. I'm deriving total cost based on quantity and unit cost. Because I put that rules, then TM1 is going to calculate everything. It's not going to skip any cells even if it's 0. So because of that, to avoid it, we write skip check. So TM1 will again skip 0 values or 0 cells. But I think here I might be a little bit weak here, but let me explain. But what will happen, because we wrote rules, there are consolidations that system does, but TM1 doesn't know. Because we turn on the skip check, TM1 will now skip the zeros, but it doesn't know where to stop. So if there are values, even though there are values in unit cost and total quantity, but it will skip the unit cost because the unit cost price is 0. And so then we use feeders to tell TM1 that unit cost, total price is derived using unit cost. So whenever you find any value in unit cost, you stop there and calculate the total cost price.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So the next question that I was expecting from you is that, can I not use quantity instead of unit cost?
Right, that was a good question, right. So why could not I use quantity to tell the system? In my opinion, I think we need to feed both quantity and unit cost, because any one of them could have value and any one of them could be 0.
Perfect. Now, let's say if quantity is 0, what will be total cost price? If quantity is 0 and unit cost is 20, what will be the total cost price?
It should be 0.
If quantity is 20 and unit cost is 0,
it will be 0.
0, right? So, in your opinion, it should feed from both, but in my opinion, it should feed from either of them because it's a multiplication.
Okay.
Now, there's one more opinion that I have. That is unit cost and quantity. Just looking at the business value of both, my product will always have a unit cost. My product will always have a unit cost.
Okay.
But
okay.
If it has been sold or not sold depends on the quantity.
Right.
So my quantity is very likely to have high number of zeros than my unit cost.
Okay.
Am I right? Am I making sense?
Right. From business point of view, that is correct.
So should I not say, if I have some 20K records, 20,000 cells in which I do not have values for 5,000 quantities, means 5,000 quantities out of 20,000 are zeros. Okay, so ideally I should only scan 15,000 records.
Right.
But if I put unit cost feeding total cost price, what TM1 will do is it will stop at 20,000 records.
Correct.
But if I feed for quantity, it will stop at only 15,000 records.
Correct.
So what is more efficient?
Quantity.
So that is something that you got to decide internally. Means you got to decide that, okay, fine, it's a quantity, it's a multiplication operation, but how do I make it more efficient? Can I make it more efficient? Maybe sometimes it could be yes.
Right. No.
All right.
Okay.
So let's kind of make it more efficient. I'll put it quantity. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's do some more calculations. Okay. So now let's calculate the total selling price as well. So here's my TM1. So my total cost price will be the same thing. Total selling price perhaps is equal to quantity into unit price, correct? And I save this. So now the next thing that I have to write is the what? I have to write a feeder statement.
No, hold on. Quantity and times unit cost. So they're both the same statement, right?
Which two statements?
After the equal sign, quantity time unit cost, and that is also quantity time unit cost. Unit price, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, I got it.
So this is the difference?
Yes, okay. So
now I have to write a feeder statement for this?
Correct.
So can you help me with that?
So, well, either quantity or unit price. So we'll take quantity will feed total selling cost, total selling price.
Correct. Just kind of save this. It's got saved. So we've got total selling price, we've got total cost price. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's calculate the profit. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Profit is equal to
selling price minus the total cost.
perfect. Now the feeders for this.
Profit. Okay, so total selling price is going to feed profit.
Okay, so let's do that. And that's it.
Actually, total, yeah, sometimes selling price could be 0, but the total cost may not be 0. Total cost,
Okay.
there might be always a value for total cost.
You want me to feed it by total cost?
I think so, yeah.
Alright. Let's exit. Let's show the calculation. So I'm good with this. Okay, let's kind of just close this queue. Just want to unload the queue. Always make a habit of, whenever you write a rule and whenever you save it, make sure you unload the queue so that whatever results you're getting are consistent. Okay, so I'm fine with that. Okay. Now what was the rule? What was the last rule?
So is it possible
Total selling price.
Right. Is it possible to feed both of them to profit?
Ideally, yes.
So total selling price feed profit, and again total cost price feed profit.
Yes. Yes. So if I have to do that, say total cost price is feeding this. Let's say total cost price here is 0. So the profit here is 60. Okay. This is coming up perfectly fine, 60. Total selling price minus total cost price is giving you 60. And then your 312 is getting summed up to 60.7. So this getting calculation is perfect. But since we have not unloaded the cube, let's kind of unload the cube and see if the results are consistent. There's no change in the rules, so I'll just say no. Unload the cube. Let's do the price calculation. So check feeders. So it's getting feeded perfectly fine. Okay.
Okay.
Let's kind of bring our stuff back. It's 2.3 here. Let's kind of understand it in a more specific way. Let's kind of put 2 more dimension. Element A, element B, and element A plus B. Okay. A plus B then came, so A plus B. Add. Okay. Alright. Okay. So I'll select A plus B, and A. Okay. So let's kind of populate the values for this. Select all. Okay. So A, I'll populate the value as say data spread, repeat 20 down, and B, I'll say data spread, repeat, okay, repeat 10 down. Okay.
Okay.
So this is my physical values, right?
Right.
It's getting it populated perfectly fine. Now my A plus B. Let's do a calculation here for A plus B.
Okay.
So my calculation would be very simple. A plus B is equal to plus B. Fairly simple. Okay. We'll say save. Exit. Let's view the results. So results 30-30 is fine. And as usual, consolidations are not getting calculated, which is quite likely. Why? Because we have not written feeders. Have we written any feeders? No.
No. Okay.
So let's write a feeder. We'll say, okay, fine. A feeds A plus B. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to a cube. Understand? Fine. So we're getting the values, right? Now let's kind of, A is feeding the A plus B. Let's kind of put it as 0 here. So this becomes 10 now. So let me just first check the value what was getting calculated. So it was 630 first as a total. The total that was getting calculated was 630.
Okay.
Now the total that is getting calculated is 610.
Correct.
So it's still giving the perfect values, right?
Correct.
Still no issues. Let's see. Let's use a check feeder. And it's saying, okay, fine, you're good with it. Don't have any problem with this.
Right. But if we make it B0, any one of those?
But ideally, I should say it should ignore this 10.
Okay.
It should not give me 610. It should give me only 600. Why is it giving me the 610? That's what my concern is.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
so 150 plus 90 is 240. 240 and 240 is to 480. 480 and 30 is 510, 610. So this is perfectly fine. Let's kind of look at the values for camping equipments. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 120 and this is 130. So 130, the value is coming perfectly fine. Okay, now let's kind of close this queue, exit, and let's kind of unload the queue and again check it. Now can you see the value? It has got 600. Now let's do a check feeders. So it is saying that cooking gear budget version 1, Jan departmental store, this is one value which is not fed. Okay.
okay.
Did you notice the change?
Yes.
So 610 initially, I unloaded the cube. Since we had changed the rules, we have to unload the cube. I unloaded the cube and checked the values, and 10 disappeared. So now I find that fine. If I have an addition, I'll have to feed it with B as well. So I'll say fine, okay, go ahead and feed now B as well. Save it, exit, close the queue. Okay. And again kind of unload the queue, load the queue, and there you go. So you're getting 610 now. For simplicity's sake, let's check feeders. There's nothing in here as well. So we're done. Understood?
Yes.
Fairly simple.
Yeah, it's simple, but
Conceptually you got to understand.
right.
Okay. Fine. So I'll wrap up this session for today.
Okay.
Okay. And tomorrow maybe I'll do an advanced topic in feeders itself. Okay. Wherein we'll be seeing that how do we, load stuff when it is coming from some other files, from some other queue. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm not really very sure if I'll be able to take it because tomorrow is a Tuesday, and Tuesday I generally have to leave to office early on Tuesdays. I have a meeting with with my entire team in the early morning. So
okay.
Tomorrow,
So can you
I'll just email you?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so if I get an email like 2 hours before the session, then I can.
Certainly. I'll email it at my night, so you'll
Okay.
certainly get it before.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. See you then.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye bye.
Okay.